Hi, welcome to the last session of City Vision's Wounded Healers Holistic Addiction Recovery course. And I'm Andrew Sears. I'm the president of City Vision University. And in this session, I'm going to talk about the relationship between financial health, career marketability, and addiction. In summary, we kind of have this holistic plan to expand personal capacity for recovery. And the key thing here is to recognize that there's all these components of addiction recovery, but one side here is on the resources and the other is on effort. So where a lot of people get stuck is they have kind of some toxic core beliefs that really impact their ability to get the resources they need, and then they only focus on the effort side. So really the toxic core belief here is toxic core beliefs devaluing financial self-care. And ultimately, what needs to happen is that this toxic core belief of devaluing financial self-care just needs to be repaired. And what needs to happen is you have to recognize that really this financial health and career marketability, it's the biggest leverage you have to be able to have more resources for self-care, for physical health. And then is because it's expensive to be able to have the resources you need for physical health. Self-care means that you have to have some margin in your life. That means financial margin, time margin. And ultimately, if you're able to, improve this, then that means you're going to have more of everything to invest, here. So, more time to put in healthy relationships, more energy to put in healthy relationships. Then, as you have more resources, you can do more on self-care that can help you in managing your emotions, managing your thoughts, and, all these things work, together. But trying to get a better job, trying to improve your marketability is critical for this. So, so ultimately, what is this quadrant about? You got to work hard. You got to work hard for resources for other domains. So, a lot of people are going to start at an entry level, high stress, high risk job. Could be fast food, could even be front lines in ministry, man. That's hard. Someone has to do it, right? But it's kind of like being on the front lines in the military. Sometimes, you can be on the front lines, but just not all the time. And eventually you want to move up to become an officer. So, you can, help others. So there's this, you got to fix a work ethic, right? So just about everyone who comes from, addiction background, you're going to be kind of black and white, all or nothing. So you got to fix it between either being an overachiever or an underachiever. Now, whichever side you're on, if you're an overachiever, this quadrant is going to be hard. If you've been historically more an underachiever, this is what you got to do. Just work hard, and you got to just keep doing it, fake it till you make it. And as you may be like, I don't have the energy for that, but part of it is all these things work, cyclically. So as you invest in physical health, as you invest in managing your emotions, then you'll be able to have more energy to go towards that. And then, you develop personal financial management skills. So we'll talk about that. So avoiding work conflict with other quadrant support. So part of how this works, the number one reason why people sabotage themselves in jobs is because they can't manage their emotions. They have some either impulse or some sort of emotional outburst, and then they lose a job and they end up in a job that's not healthy, right? So all the things I said about managing your emotions, doing self-care, taking care of physical health, managing thoughts and beliefs, that can help you kind of avoid that trigger, right? And then ultimately you're trying to serve an exemplary employee, get a better degree or a trade skill. You don't have to end at City Vision. You can get a trade skill and just use us for life skills. But keep moving up. And your goal is to improve your marketability as an employee. Just like in healthy relationships, you have to become a good friend or a good, spouse or a good, dating partner or whatever. Here you're trying to improve your marketability as an employee. You got to be as strong as possible in that. And then that's going to enable you to move into other positions with better pay and less risk to your relapse. And you're going to move into leadership where you have more margin. Now, one of the other key things is you don't want to have a leaky cup, so to speak. So, it's not just about the revenue side of things. You may be able to get a really good job, but if you have a problem or you've never been trained and you didn't grow up with parents that taught you good financial management skills, so we have a course on financial management. It's Gen 103. It's really helpful. We use both biblical basis and we use financial peace. And so we go through biblical perspectives on money, and a lot of it's just practical budgeting, budgeting, decision making, debt and stewardship, consumer awareness, spending wisely, investment, retirement, inheritance, and God's money in the church and family. So that's on the financial side. Now, all of this course has been building towards you thinking about, and I realize, so this is a survey course. So what's a survey course? It's kind of like reading the table of contents in a book, except in this case, the book is all the courses we have at City Vision, and all the material. So, and it could be, the table of contents for your next, decade of recovery or 2 decades of recovery. So that can be overwhelming. So what the final project is about is, what do you need to do now? Synthesize, create a summary. You probably came up with a list of like 100 ideas of things you need to do. That's not going to be helpful. What you need to do is you need to be able to turn that into your final project. So what are the 4 to 6 most significant factors limiting your overall recovery and going to the next level in your own development? And then what are 4 to 6 concrete steps you might take in the progress in the next few years in these areas? So think hard about that. Look over the last things you wrote. Don't just take this, and just come up with a quick idea. This is the most important assignment in the course. So spend some time thinking about that. Now, as a part of that, we have courses that you can do. So we're a part of, want to be a part of your own holistic recovery process. So we have the Wounded Healers course. So this is our recommended course sequence. Wounded Healers, our Vocation, Calling, and Purpose of Work course. And then taking, depending on which degree you're in, either Intro to Christian Addiction Counseling or Introduction to Nonprofit and Ministry Management. And in each of these, so Vocation, Calling, and Purpose of Work, you're going to create a life plan. In this course, you're working on a recovery plan. In these courses, you'll create a career plan. And then you start to move to the 200 levels and life skills courses, and I'll talk about those. And then later move to 300 level. Now, the reason for this is the 200 level are designed, 100 levels walking, this is jogging, this is running, sometimes could feel like sprinting, and we don't want you to burn out. So, taking the easier level, the 300 levels usually are easier than the 400 level. And ultimately, we're trying to get you a degree, or a certificate or promotion or licensure in addiction counseling, depending on what your interest is. And, just as a reminder, so we have these 4 programs: addiction counseling, nonprofit management, business, ministry, and leadership. And you can kind of move up through all of those. We also have 3 specialty certificates at the undergraduate level: food services, retail management, and fundraising. And, the idea is that you start with a certificate. Now, some of you may want to go to a trade and just use the certificate as a way to get life skills. Hey, that's fine. But then you move on to an associate's and move on for a bachelor's. We've had students that are with us part-time for 8 or 10 years, and we're walking with you on that recovery journey that whole way. And you know what? You might fall down in there, and you may have to take some time off from City Vision, but man, we're here and we're going to welcome you with welcome arms and just be glad that you come back. Then we have a graduate certificate and master's. We've seen a lot of people go through that whole sequence, and, we're a key part of their process, and their lives are changed. So the idea is that each of these credits from lower levels meet the upper levels, and you can kind of continue and move in between these programs. Maybe you want to start on ministry and leadership, then move to addiction counseling, then move into management. So part of what you can think about in your plan also is just, which of the life skills courses. You may have been like, you know what, I need to do that physical health thing, or you may be, the financial health thing. So think about that and put that into your plan. Again, just to reconnect and to kind of summarize the whole course, the whole goal is to expand this circle for you. You're expanding your personal capacity for recovery. This is salvation, sanctification, and discipleship. And, these things here, and this is, all the stuff that we've covered, but, for seeing family issues, we have this family issues and recovery. And then core beliefs, we have a lot of theology and counseling courses that help with that. And then on managing emotions, we have emotional intelligence. is a course. Most of our counseling courses um, and healthy relationships and counseling also overlaps with that. Then for physical health, we have holistic personal health, technology, life balance, and behavioral addictions is for boundaries and self-care. And then we have 4 courses on this: jobs, financial health, and career. Our vocation course, you develop an addiction counseling 101 and Org 101, a career plan, personal finance. And really your whole degree program and certificate programs are really focused on this. And the end result is we want to see you guys succeed, see the transformation that's happened in my life and in the lives of so many of our students. And then you guys can be, like Jesus said, the seed that grows into 30, 50, 100 fold. So that's what we want to see for you. You may fall down along the way, but just as long as you keep getting back up, we're going to be here for you. So it's been an honor to be with you in this course, and I hope you've really enjoyed it. Please give us feedback. This course is honestly one of the most important courses we're doing. So whenever we ask you to do the feedback, give us as much feedback as you can. If there's things that this brought up for you, if it was like too much, or if there's things that were just unhelpful or things that were helpful, put that in. I'd love if you could write a couple paragraphs in your course feedback rather than sometimes one line, because we're going to use that to improve this course, and that'll help other people in their own recovery. So thanks a lot.